Yes.
Boss of all bosses, too.
I hear you.
You in.
Gangsta, Brazil.
Huh? Never.
DJ
You know the
Drama.
life is like my wife. Leave you. Where they do that at? GW Cross Bridging, Fort Lee living, Ashwater, River Road, GT ignition, MTV crib, Philippe in the kitchen. If I can't get it, Mava beneath form prison. Yeah, yo, dealer, the streets fiending. Connects be 80 old niggas, don't speak English. Get my payroll bigger, I keep scheming. Saying you a radio killer, keep dreaming. $5 speech, you talk cheap. On the offbeat, bars up like Wall Street. Nick game floor seats, they raw scores 3. GTS Porsche Jeep, big grill like horse teeth. Always been swag, pimp fly. Level Burberry bucket with the plaid inside. Looking like Ja Rule when he crashed this ride. When screaming I'm out, boo, she turned back and replied like, I won't.
Affiliates, nigga, pay attention.
I won't. I'm here for you. You screaming she a hottie. To me, she probably lukewarm. Need that Bugatti, page 12 out the DuPont. Clean you up like a newborn. If I don't do Moscato, shot a Baji from the juice bar. I got Vito friends, C notes is all I see like a CeeLo win. When I ride through Harlem, I don't need no Benz. Same Jeep gutter man drove Nino in. Far from a new jack, finish is a new pack like Ice-T crib, one button to push a roof back. Smooth cat, been hustling, that's a true fact. Used to go to school with a pocket full and loose cracks. Yes, the game shaky, got some loose screws, hard to tighten when niggas providing them like who's who. Did the skate key, I had a few new news, rather get hit with a 45 than a deuce. I won't. I'm here for you, shorty. I won't. V12. You ain't killer. I'm here for you,
Y'all singing like Eric Clapton, me, I'm forever clapping, never slacking, velvet napping, Jeff, hear me, leather action, fuck whatever happened, vote for Beretta packing, whether any weather, wherever, from a clever faction, no fiction, not nods, it's so written, my old pigeon, rollie box, the gold ribbon, where I'm from, check the sky, no ribbon, dope fiends, crack houses, coke kitchens, go getters, we go getting, we robbing with no givens, ordered from low living, no wisdom, so sickening, life, death, no difference, no severance pay on the road hitching, ain't tripping, fuck a trick, suck a dick, find another click to go burn rubber's wick, I get bread bricks, white, green, red chips, but when she left, said this. What?
I won't.
What's going on, MBL Network? We are live here, twitch.tv/MBL Network. Let me know how it looks and sounds in the chat. This is episode number 11. I'm doing alongside today my co-host, as always, Quibble. Man, we got a big show in store for you today. Let me go ahead and give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about. We got free agency analysis. We're going to do a quick overview, impacts on teams. We're going to talk Christian McCaffrey, DeMarcus Lawrence, Laramie Tunsil signing with the Indianapolis Colts, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, DeAndre Swift, and also, let's not forget about a big trade with old Johnny P. He's not going to be the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers anymore. He was traded. We're going to talk about that. We're going to review that. We got the upcoming draft. We got an overview of, top 10 prospect. We'll go over Poodle's top 10 mock, see how we feel about that. Talk about some trades, early predictions, some storylines we got going on right now. We're gonna tackle everything. First of all, Quibble, how you doing today? We do have a draft coming up in precisely 40 minutes.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Let's get right to it so we can jump right in.
All right, we'll jump right into it. Yeah, let's do it. Sorry, I had to change the volume on some stuff. I don't know if it was too loud or not. What's going on, Porter in the building? Satana Rose, Bananas, October's in the building. Big Puffin and Big Sal. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Let's go and start where we need to start off. Let's talk about this Super Bowl that just finished there. It took a little while to get to the end. But Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Chargers, MBL season 59. They did it against the Philadelphia Eagles, winning 40-27. Any thoughts on that game? We do have the banner up now. The trophy is en route. We'll get more information and get them a shipping number tomorrow on that for the Los Angeles Chargers. That's their second. They're two-time MBL Super Bowl champions, and they've done it both times here in Madden 25, MBL season 57 and 59. We're going into season 60. What do you think about this Chargers? Impressive season for them. We thought they were going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. That's what we were predicting, right? Well, we thought Philly was going to be undefeated. Well, the Houston Texans spoiled that plan, and then they spoiled their own trip to go back to the Super Bowl to play the Eagles by taking a tough defeat to the Chargers. So Chargers went through who won it last year in multiple ways, right? They defeated the Houston Texans, got that off their back, got themselves back to the promised land against the team that won it last year. We thought maybe this is going to be some type of rivalry here with the Eagles and the Chargers, and the Chargers just handled business.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. I think you can start talking about a dynasty now with this Chargers team. I mean, they've won a Super Bowl now with two different quarterbacks, Justin Herbert and then Max Duggan, the rookie, his rookie year. Surprisingly, I think Max actually had a better game than Herbert did in his Super Bowl performance. Herbert didn't really have a great game. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, but they're kind of gimmies. He was kind of struggling with his accuracy. He only had like 57%. But you know, when the opposing quarterback turns over the ball, and then you have good gamemanship at the end of halves to do 2-for-1s, that's why they're champions.
Yeah, shout out to the Los Angeles Chargers. They did it again. Justin Herbert, former NBL MVP, won it in NBL season 57. Hurts won it in 58. The award came out and went to Anthony Richardson. He's the first one not to win a Super Bowl in the year that he won MVP this cycle. And it makes you wonder, was that Herbert's MVP? You know, Justin.
Might have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hearing rumblings that, you know,
yeah, there's
kind of a split decision.
The problem with Justin Herbert, I'm going to say right now, he played so good in NBL season 57, he's getting the Shaq treatment. Probably even could have been the MVP in NBL season 58. But when you got Keaton Mitchell, right, as playing as well as he does, I mean, there were the top 1, 2, 3 in the running game, about mid-pack as far as yards go passing. You know, it's easy if you're not a Chargers fan and you're hating a guy at the top, right? It's easy to look at that team and go, well, you know, Herbert's not the only one. And then you start trying to figure out other things. But, man, as you said, he didn't look great in the championship. But, man, he looked good everywhere else. And he was just efficient, effective, and precise with delivering the football last season. You talk about the big trade for Alex McKinney, Drake London, still on the roster. It's going to be fun to watch this team and see if they can go and get this back-to-back. Haven't been able to do it yet, but it even could be Philly Eagles once again. But let's go ahead and move forward. Congrats to the Los Angeles Chargers. Anything to take away from that going forward? Anything on your mind that you want to say? Okay, I mean, watch this with the Chargers.
If any power rankings come out and they're not number 1, I'm gonna greatly question the sanity of those power rankers.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going into the formula at that point. What's going into the water that they're drinking over there? Let's move forward. Free agency analysis. We're going to get that on the screen here in just a second. I think we got a stream up for that.
Yep, I'm all set, ready to go.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Here we go. Laremy Tunsil.
Yeah, so I mean, Larry Tunsil, he's going to go help out the Indianapolis Colts. Kind of a larger contract for 1 year for the 33-year-old. 31 mil. But, you know, Bryce Young needs protection. They got those 2 deep threats, you know. Just having a little bit more time means a little bit more completions deep and touchdowns. Yeah,
we're talking about 2 receivers that absolutely go off, right? You're looking at Laremy Tunsil. he said, I'll protect this quarterback because I know the type of yards we're going to get. This is going to be a big opportunity. I mean, this is a 1-year kind of rental for Laramie Tunsil, right? You got him about $30 million. I wouldn't be surprised he kind of finishes his career. He's 33 years old. I see him playing a couple more seasons after this, 2, maybe 3. Let's see what else we got. DeAndre Swift, a late signing, signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, they need a running back. They just made a big move for a quarterback. So they have Swift for the next 4 years. So during the duration of that rookie contract, I don't know who they have at wide receiver. Mike Evans retired like 2 seasons ago. So look for them to maybe target a wide receiver this draft and get the 3 crucial guys on offense.
Yeah, let's see what else. Christian McCaffrey, he signs with the Washington Commanders, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's with the Commanders.
Commanders got CMC
on the market a while.
Josh Allen. And they got some explosion. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey's.
The McCaffreys.
They got 2 McCaffreys on that team.
Yeah, the brothers.
Tell us a little bit about
together,
Washington.
So.
What do you expect? What's the expectations coming into there? I mean, you got your quarterback. You're bringing this veteran halfback.
The GM's putting all the keys and giving like all the possibilities for that coach to actually get it done. But unfortunately, the coach has been struggling lately, so who knows what happens.
Yeah, maybe a coach firing. You never know. Michael Pittman Jr.,
fired.
wide receiver. Where'd he end up going?
Yeah, so he's with Kansas City, and Kansas City actually had a pretty good free agency. They brought in Pittman as well as Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams is going to be their number 4 receiver, if I recall correctly. And then they got 2 quick linebackers with Frankie Luvu and Bobby Orique. So that defense got some speed to kind of deal with the nuances of the Chargers and the Broncos offense out there. And then they got 2 more extra weapons to give Mahomes. So really no excuses for that offense to really just kind of take that next step and make some noise in the playoffs.
And this is Pittman's first year not being in Indianapolis Colts. He posted 27 receptions, 366 yards, and just 2 touchdowns last season with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to put him on the big screen here in just 1 second. We're going to get him on the screen. The newest addition to the Kansas City Chiefs, 29 years old. Here's my question. Is that a bit of a payday for a guy that didn't really give you much last season? I mean, you saw a sub 400-yard season out of him. And the ability's there.
The year before,
he
had a pretty good year. I think the year before he had a pretty good year, and I think he played last year more as a decoy to kind of really open up things. And I think just defenses has really never adjusted, and he just didn't have the easy receptions.
I tell you, I bet you he's happy to get out of Indianapolis. It is a 2 wide receiver system over there, and Pittman wasn't one of the 2. Believe it or not, it's a 2 wide receiver system. They even brought in Laporta, got rid of him real quick. Let's take a look. Marlon Humphrey, free agent. He signs with the Miami Dolphins. Are you excited about Miami? Miami's got to make a comeback. We haven't talked about them really since building the franchise. Miami Dolphins, MBL season 57 into 58. They were still, fighting. I think they ended up making the playoffs. No playoffs last year, right? For Miami, is that true? I believe so.
Yeah,
the Colts have
kind of down year. It was a down year in the AFC East. The only team that was positive was the Patriots, who's currently still looking for a new coach. The GM's just looking out. So we'll find out what's going on with that situation, but it's their time to strike. They got Humphrey to pair with Ramsey, so 2 of the more talented corners in a pass-heavy league. So look for them to bounce back.
I got to see something happen on offense, though, man. A little more consistency. You see the wheels. They got the burners. They've had the flash at wide receiver. Multiple depth, the depth that they have at wide receiver as far as getting yards after the catch. You just haven't seen it equalize on the field or equal to anything on the field of substance, right? They have these big playmakers. They got to put them in situations to make big plays. You just haven't seen it yet. Derwin James, he's on the move. No more a Charger. 2 Super Bowl rings for him. He bounces at the age of 31. He's an Atlanta Falcon. This is a team that overperformed, some say, in the regular season. I think they just underperformed in the playoffs. They won the division last year. They are going to be going against my building the franchise Carolina Panthers, guys. Yeah, there's breaking news if you didn't know that. You know it now. Building the franchise, Carolina Panthers. We're going to be doing some big things with them this season. We're interested to see where they go at quarterback. This draft is going to be big for the Carolina Panthers. I'm excited to get it going, but our arch rival, our nemesis right off the bat, Atlanta. What do you think about this Atlanta-Carolina rivalry that's kind of been under the radar? Atlanta seems like they're gearing up for this building the franchise season as well.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta got the prize of the free agency. I think Derwin James had probably like maybe 10 to 12 suitors, and they obviously paid for it. Quite a contract for 3 years for a 31-year-old. I think this is more of a win now move because I think Penix, this is a contract year. I think this is their year, and then if not, maybe they're rebuilding a little bit. But in terms of playing against Carolina is not really afraid of them. They've proven with less talent that they've been able to stay with them and be a challenge.
All right, let's find some signings. Some signings that maybe happened earlier in this thing. These are a lot of older guys. Derwin James, 31. Humphrey, 31. We talked about CMC's 31. Trent Brown's 34. Lawrence is 34. Ramzik's old. Trent Brown's old.
You got DeMarcus Lawrence coming back to New York along with Barkley, so that's always a nice storyline to hear. 2 guys going home. But for younger guys, I mean, you got Deuce Vaughn playing the backup role in Washington. You got Lucas Van Ness. He's going to make an impact with the Broncos. He had, I think, a 5 or 6 sack season previously, and now he's going to try to get after Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes.
So what do you think? Who won the free agency here, Quibble? Give me a couple big signings, a couple more big signings, and then we'll walk away from free agency. But who do you think won this?
Kansas City won it. I think from just strictly a free agency standpoint, I think Kansas City won it, and then a close second would be Atlanta. They got a strong D tackle in Darren Payne, solid tackle, offensive tackle in Brian O'Neill, and then Derwin James was the prize of the free agency.
Yeah, so they were able to bring a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball, that being the Atlanta Falcons. They shored up the offensive line. They shored up that inside run stuff. Daron Payne, we always seen him. He was with Washington, wasn't he?
He was Washington, yeah. He was doing his job in Washington, stopping the run, and now his job is going to try to stop that building the franchise Carolina Panthers and that dynamic running back in Thompson.
Atlanta Falcons, they finished 12-5 last season. They got off to a pretty hot start, maybe fizzled out towards the end, and then that one-and-done playoffs loss, that probably really didn't sit well for Atlanta. I believe that was a loss to the Minnesota Vikings. But, man, Atlanta has a lot to look forward to. I know it was disappointing playoffs. You guys did a good job this offseason. I'm excited to see if they can take that next step. But Carolina's coming right in step. We finished 12-5 as well. Carolina building the franchise. Make sure you check it out on this channel. We got some cool stuff coming in, and don't forget about Thompson. That's going to be our halfback superstar, big playmaker in his second year. No sophomore slump. He might actually be is he in his second year or his third year? Yeah, he's going to be going into his second year. Lucas Thompson, out of Villanova. He was a 4th-round pick, 6'1", 223. He's got all the size. He's quicker than you think. He's faster on the field than he was on his 40 time.
This sounds like a lot of code words there.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype going on here. And he's got the Wayne Rooney receding hairline. I know my man Ryan appreciates that, but no more John Peterson. You say J. Pete, he's not going to be there. He's going to be moving on. He's going to be in Tampa. We're not too worried about it. That was a little bit of a – there's got to be something about this quarterback that maybe we didn't see last season with the young fella. To trade him in interdivision like that, but we stack up on
the best left tackle in the game, though, too. Worse is on his way back to Carolina, so I mean that's always a positive thing to have.
All right, let's go ahead and move forward here. We talked about free agency. Trent Brown signed with Washington. Ryan Ramczyk signs with Philly. Philly does another good job of shoring up the line, but hey, no more Saquon Barkley. Where does he go? Where does he go? He ends up back where?
Back in New York.
He gets his championship ring. Super Bowl champion, MBL season 58 for Saquon Barkley. And, man, he's had a historical pass in the MBL. If you remember, I mean, I just remember him doing some phenomenal things with the Giants, Z-Star teams.
Yeah,
he gets himself a chip, and now he heads right back to New York, where he probably belonged. His heart always was, and Philly's going to be without that. So interesting thing, Jalen Hurts fantasy football. I just took him first. I had the first pick in the first round, first time ever. I went with Jalen Hurts. Why did I go with Jalen Hurts for MBL fantasy football? Because of Saquon Barkley being out. It's going to be all on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts, and Philadelphia is Super Bowl or bust. Believe it or not, this team is going to still maintain that dominance, I believe, and you're just going to see Jalen Hurts throwing the ball more in the end zone, and even those rushing touchdowns. How many did he have last year? 8, 10?
13.
13?
And 14,
man, you might see that close to 20.
Maybe? I think he played 12 or 13 games, too, because Zach Wilson took over for 5 games.
Wow. So even with Saquon there, still very impressive from Jalen Hurts. I expect that to go up. All right, let's go ahead and move forward in the show. Did I miss anybody in free agency? Tre'Davious White, Marcus Williams for the Chicago Bears. Shout out to them. Jonathan Allen, Cincinnati Bengals. And Miami Dolphins, we talked about Marlon Humphrey, but Rashad Bateman, that was a solid pickup. A lot of teams. Hey, I talked to Rashad Bateman's agent earlier today. Phone was ringing at the peak of this Rashad Bateman frenzy, right? It's like people just looked around and started realizing, hey, Rashad Bateman is a solid wide receiver, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he's underrated. Definitely underrated.
And man,
great value too.
He definitely had that. Kansas City, Bobby Okwirki, that's from the New York Giants, I believe.
Yep, the Giants.
And then you got Frankie Lavu, Devontae Adams, and Pittman. I think Pittman's the real winner here for Kansas City. He's going to give him something different, right? I think Pittman might give him that big body, and maybe Mahomes and them figure it out. I still think they're the toughest competition for the Chargers, but don't sleep on the Denver Broncos. And let's move forward. Let's talk some trades.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of segueing with the whole Barkley discussion. I mean, the year before they traded for Jonathan Brooks from those Carolina Panthers. I think they got like a first-round pick or something like that. They sent him on his merry way just for a second, a fourth, and a second. So recoup some value. Obviously, Barkley's going to get the lead back role. I think the Ravens are very ecstatic to have a top running back that's really going to bring another element to that offense with Lamar.
Yeah, I think so. Baltimore, that trade we're talking about for Jonathan Brooks. They gave away a second-round pick, a fourth-round pick, and a second-round pick in the MBL Season 61 rookie draft. Do you think they overpaid for this? I feel like they got some really good value from the 24-year-old superstar Jonathan Brooks from the New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, just in seeing what he went for last season, I think the Ravens got an absolute steal. You saw how much running backs were going in free agency, how much competition there was. I think a lot of teams, if they knew he was available for just a couple seconds in a fourth, they would have took a shot with a young, promising superstar running back.
Yeah, and shout out to the NBL. If you're in fantasy football, you are drafting right now. You need a quarterback. Let's not forget about Trevor Lawrence from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got a Jags fan in the chat right now saying, he's been a top 10 quarterback multiple times. I know there's 10 to 12 people in this league. Why is my quarterback not on the board? Why is he not getting drafted, not picked up? Well, I don't know now. There's no excuses now because Trevor Lawrence showed us what he could do last season, right? He put on just an absolute technician at the quarterback position. Yeah, they didn't get as many wins as they liked. They're probably flying under the radar. But, man, Trevor Lawrence, we talked about it in episode 10 just last week-ish. Man, how good of a season did he have?
Yeah, he had a great season. I think he's kicking himself because there's no reason he shouldn't have not won that division. It's just one of those. Trevor Lawrence had a great year and just got unlucky. I think when we looked at it last time, I think there was like 4 or 5 games that, they
41
lost
touchdowns.
One possession.
Yeah, they were right there. I mean, if you look at their point differential, they had a super positive point differential. They're scoring 26 a game. They're only giving up 19, yet they're 9-8. It just nothing really made sense. Their defense was top 10 across the board. Their offense and the yards, I think it's the passing yards maybe that people look at. You got to hit that 4,200, 4,300 mark for Trevor Lawrence, but 41 touchdowns, that's big fantasy points, right? Only 14 interceptions and only sacked 15 times. Completion percentage slightly below the average there. Those top guys, 64%. Want to see that about 67, 68 plus. I think he improves a little bit there. And Jacksonville, they turn around those one possession games. What do you think? Jacksonville could be looking at 11, 12 wins this season.
Yeah, I think they're looking closer to like 10, 11, because I think they do have a little bit tougher schedule this year compared to last. But if they hit well on this draft, I think they did okay with free agency and just kind of really keeping the option to re-sign their guys. I think they have the opportunity to be winning that division and maybe at least getting to the second round.
All right, let's look at a couple more trades we want to take a look at here.
Yeah. Do you have one that you want to talk about specifically? If not, I can find this one. Give me one.
Yeah,
second.
find us one on the thing.
All right, let's take a look.
There's the Panthers one. If you guys didn't know, that was building the franchise. Carolina Panthers is going to be on the tunes this season. You saw John Peterson, 24 years old, the X Factor. He's gone. Tristan Wirfs and Drew Favorito. Mi favorito. Drew Favorite. This is a guy, another Wayne Rooney cut. We're going to have to get the edit on this. We're going to have to get some swag, some style going. Drew Favorite needs to get, he's going to have to change the look up. You're going to Carolina. This is big time. This is building the franchise. You got to know it. Drew Favorite was a top pick in the MBL season 58 rookie draft, right? So right after this cycle started at 57, 58, he was drafted. And man, he has not lived up to the hype. He has not been the quarterback that everyone expected him to be out of Nebraska, but there's still time. There's still time, and what Carolina likes to do is bring in as many pieces as they can, and then they're finally going to bring in that quarterback position, and I think Drew Favorite is going to shock the world here, and I'm going to make this prediction. By the end of the season, Drew Favorite will be a better quarterback statistically than John Peterson was last season and this current year.
Ooh.
That's a bold statement.
That is a bold statement. We'll have to see how the lights affect that squad.
All right, what do we else we got on trades? What else you see here?
So I think we got to talk about this Packers trade. We got a really, really good Packers trade going on. They ended up trading away Eric Jacobs and 2 picks for a first-round pick, and Dallas Cowboys definitely got their best. They got their new quarterback basically for the season. I don't think Dak is going to be long-term. I sense we're going to see a changing of the guard this season. Eric Jacobs is going to be the starter of the old BTF Cowboys. And, maybe Dak does get traded this year.
I got a story on Eric Jacobs, actually. Eric Jacobs was selected to replace Jordan Love when Green Bay decided we don't necessarily feel like we want to pay Jordan Love, right? We don't want to keep this guy long term. Well, Eric Jacobs comes out, and I believe he gets hurt against the Detroit Lions week 2 or week 3 early in the season, maybe week 1 of last season. And Jordan Love just comes out there and performs well enough to determine that this is his team. Eric Jacobs just got caught on the wrong side of falling in the draft to a point where they had to take him in the second round. He's just too talented out of Arkansas. This guy was 21 years old. And when I tell you that this quarterback at this position has a gun, Eric Jacobs has a rifle, and he can sling it. 6'5", 226, and that was his thing. Strong arm quarterback. So they decided to go with him. Dallas still has Dak on the. Now Dak's got to be wondering, why didn't I just take? Why didn't we figure this out so I could have been playing somewhere, right? But man, don't sleep on Dak Prescott. We say it's his last year. Eric Jacobs has been injury prone. Whole rookie season last year, injury prone. Let's see what happens this season. Don't be surprised you see Dak Prescott come back within the first 6 weeks. And if it's more injury action, this could be a real lopsided trade for the Cowboys. Maybe potentially made some mistakes, but hey, they got a second round and a fourth round kicked back to them
for just a first.
For just a first. So yeah, at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
I mean, you got your future quarterback of the future. I think that was just another salary cap move for Green Bay looking ahead, because Jordan Love has like a $70 or $80 million cap hold next year, and they just went in and got their starter for the future and took advantage of that.
that was definitely a low risk trade. That was very fair on both sides. I think both teams end up winning that, even if the Cowboys, they get an opportunity to look at this young guy, and they were big on this guy coming into the draft. They just didn't even, when I talked to Cowboys ownership, Dak Prescott was they were so into this contract and committed to Dak Prescott. They evaluated some quarterbacks during that draft, and Eric Jacobs was one of the ones that they were like, this guy can play. No idea he'd fall to the late second. Here he is, and now he finds himself on the Cowboys. So good for him. Dak Prescott might be looking for a new job next season. We'll see how health concerns go. And the Packers, coincidentally, they also made a trade with the Washington Commanders. They made 2 trades with the NFCs. They traded for a tight end after they lose, I say, one of their favorite targets. Our man Luke, we'll never forget. What was it? Luke, I always forget the last name. Luke
Musgrove or whatever?
Yeah,
Musgrave?
something like that.
Yeah, Musgrave is
unrealistically speedy tight end. I've seen guys like that before. They ain't that fast. The guy had burdens, but they don't sign him. He ends up gone. Luke Musgrave is gone. I don't know what team he signed on this free agency, but I know he got signed. Marcus Ballard's going to come in from Washington, and he's going to take over that big spot. And this is where Jordan Love this is his bread and butter. This tight end position is what makes this offense go. If they have nice distribution to that tight end spot, it opens everything else up on the field. You also have to don't forget, we got a 2-headed monster at the halfback position for them. But, man, they gave up a lot for this tight end, man. And this is a draft that maybe it's got 2 to 3 good tight ends, but one's really good. Well, they went out and got their really good one because they gave away a 7th pick and a 13th pick. Washington, I'm putting them as big winners on this trade, though. Those picks could turn into something real special.
Yeah, I think, Green Bay just got backed in the corner. They needed to clear up space.
And Josh Jacobs is gone. And that was another guy. They were big on Josh Jacobs.
Keep space. They're trying to stay under the cap. They're preparing for next year. Anything they can get for a rollover to save grace and be able to be competitive for the years to come. I mean, that's ultimately why that deal happened.
I'm a big fan of Marshawn Lloyd at the halfback position, 5'9", 215. I like his size. I like his ability. I like his speed. I think
he's also up for a contract extension too.
And he really hasn't lived up to that. And he hasn't lived up to the expectations so far. I mean, we saw Josh Jacobs multiple times kind of take that carrying load back. If you had him in fantasy football, you were really agonizing because you saw Marshawn Lloyd go from a 10 carries a game to somewhere between 3 to 5. I mean, it felt really low. Josh Jacobs handled low, but we're back here with Marshawn Lloyd. This is make or break season for him. He's 26 years old. Let's see if Green Bay can figure it out. Jordan Love, Marshawn Lloyd, Marcus Ballard's a tight end. That's going to be big. Jaden Reed and Romeo Dubes. A lot of talent there for this young team. And don't forget about Cam Dorsey, up-and-coming wide receiver as well. Expect him to make some big strides this season. What do we got? What do we got left here? Let's get into the draft.
What do you left? Yeah, let's mock draft by our draft expert of the 2-time of
We didn't hear what you said.
Oh.
You might kind of went everywhere. Let's take a look at this top 10 mock draft. At number 1, this is confirmed right here. I'm going to tell you right now. This right here is confirmed. Cleveland's taking Bobby Tobin at number 1, tight end.
You gotta share it.
I gotta share it. What do you mean?
Yeah, I can't see it, man. We want to know what you're talking about.
You better look closer.
Thank you, sir.
Delay. He's watching the stream as a viewer, not as a real man. Bobby Tobin going number 1. You surprised here? Cleveland, man, they've had an array of first, second overall picks, and their mock drafts to where they actually are going to go, man, they're all over the place sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, these mocks are always interesting to see. No one knows how these GMs are going to operate in terms of what they have for their vision for the team, but I think Tobin is definitely probably a lock. I've heard rumblings through the grapevines that, he's going to be that guy And he might just be like the next Brock Bowers. That's what they're hoping for in Cleveland.
Speaking of Brock, shout out to Brock Bowers. Been absolutely a stud and low-key underrated, underappreciated, under-talked about. But man, Brock Bowers on the Raiders, if you want to go check out some stats, go check out his stats, man. He's very impressive, and he's been getting it done, and he's been winning awards too. That guy's an absolute stud. That's a stud they got in Oakland. I mean, in Vegas. Let's move forward.
So,
Number 2, New Orleans
forward.
Saints. Zeke Crawford. We saw Zeke go early last season. Zeke Upshaw. Not this early, but man, he ended up winning Rookie of the Year. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns wide receiver. This is a different Zeke. This is Zeke the Freak Crawford. This guy's supposed to be game-changing. Is this an obvious pick here for the Saints? Lock it in.
I've heard some positives. I would think that would be their pick, but I mean, they also have a pretty large cap hold with Chris Olave, and then they just signed Purdy, so it really depends on what they're thinking, but I think that would be the pick if I was them. I've heard through the grapevine that, the Packers, before they ended up trying to get rid of their picks, they were trying to move up and just send 3-4 picks to New Orleans. So they would have had like 7, 13, and I think 27 potentially for this draft, but
it would have done no good. I think they wanted Bobby Tobin.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody wants the Tobin, but only Cleveland's going to have him. So that's definitely be a team to watch next year to see how he progresses.
All right, let's move forward. Arizona going halfback Devontae Thomas. Thumbs up, thumbs down on that.
Yeah, any of these predictions kind of scream out to you? I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers and a tight end. So like definitely offensive heavy. I think there's only 2 defensive players. Yeah, 2 defensive players, Newton and Brenner, going to, of course, the AFC East. I think that's whoever has the best defense in that division probably is going to win it.
Yeah, I don't see Arizona going halfback. I mean, Trey Benson's starting halfback there, 25 years young.
I'll bet you a first that they're going halfback.
You think they take halfback? So what happens with Trey Benson then?
Oh, Trey he's got issues, cap-wise. Kyler Murray, he's going.
He's got a year left on the deal. I wouldn't be surprised if we see.
I think Benson might get traded.
If we see Trey Benson end up on another team here very shortly, and maybe even the New York Jets. I don't know how they're doing as far as where they're at trade-wise or what they're thinking of cap-wise. I'm not in the office at all, but I know they've been looking for a halfback. And, man, you talk about a game changer, a breaker. This guy has pull-away speed, and he's got great size, 6'1", 223, and he moves, good change of direction, great carrying. He can juke move, spin move, break tackles, got great vision. It hasn't necessarily been thrust into the spotlight, right? Kind of been very not talked about. And that's why when you see the Cardinals going for a tight end here on the board, for a halfback, you think, well, who's their halfback? Well, I know who it is. I just didn't think, I just didn't think they'd make the move. I thought we'd be seeing a man get paid here because as as far as athleticism goes, they have one of the top 3-4 halfbacks in the league, athletic-wise and talent-wise as well, man. I mean, this guy's an up-and-coming, still 25, but, man, he has those burners. Don't be surprised if he finds himself on a new team for a big haul. The New York Jets going outside linebacker. That's interesting to me. I thought there was some cornerback need, some D tackle need there. They lost some.
Yeah, I can see them looking at corners. I think corner, it's a pass-happy league. I think they're going to look to try to solidify that secondary. Maybe even a strong safety. I know there's a couple teams that are really big on one of the prospects. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then you take a look at Buffalo, and you got them going defensive end.
Yeah, I think they tried the Jonathan Allen experiment last. He just wasn't a good fit. He ended up going to free agency. So, I mean, it makes sense that maybe they're trying to replace it and try to fix that.
I could see them going quarterback. I know they traded Josh Allen. I know Desmond Ridder. They have Jaden Reeves. But, man, these guys are developing slow. super slow. I could see them going quarterback again. I could see them getting aggressive and trying to get out in front of this, take their pick. It'll be the first quarterback off the board. I believe, what is it, 25-year-old's probably the top quarterback right now, right?
Yeah, I think 25-year-old.
So here would be funny.
I had
Jaden Reeves, they've been working on him. Desmond Ritter's been forever 20s. You bring in the 25-year-old, he's not even going to be the youngest guy in your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you get some rookie veteran experience or whatever. I guess that college veteran, show them where to go in Buffalo to like smash tables, where to get the best wings. That's what the rookie's there for. Veteran experience.
Shout out to Buffalo. After that big trade with Josh Allen, this team was a playoff fighting team. This is one of those weird teams, right? Early in the season, they're always in some type of contention, whether it be the playoffs or just surprising you, right? I mean, we've seen them start off 5-1, 5-2. And then the Josh Allen thing happens, Desmond Ridder thing happens. It kind of fades next season. Did we get a resurgence here from the Buffalo Bills this season?
I mean, I think it took a growing pains to kind of learn post Josh Allen. I can only imagine that they'll have a better year this year. And I'm getting some insider information that we're at the final hours of the draft. It's starting in 5 minutes, and
we got to get out of here. Baltimore taking a cornerback. Tresman Potter, I could see them making a bigger splash than corner, but they might go corner. That'd be the first corner off the board. I'm sure they would like that. Tresman Potter, obvious number one selection at corner. Wherever he does go, Washington could jump in there. San Francisco, they're going offensive tackle at 6. I don't see that. This is a team that's just all about splash. I don't see them taking the boring tackle pick at 6 overall either. We'll see how it trickles down. I could see them taking Tresman Potter and moving up. And Baltimore has been known to take some linemen too. They're kind of building something over there. It just hasn't. This is the year. This is the year for Baltimore right here. You're going to see something. Carolina, wide receiver Louis Stockton. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that.
I think they go Daniel Gore. I think there's they like that skill set with Daniel Gore. I don't think they take Stockton. I think they take Daniel Gore. It's just there's something about him that GM's gonna just really like.
Yep. And let's go ahead and wrap this up with the Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver core. They're one of the last on here in this top 10. Got them going wide receiver. You're saying their wide receiver they're supposed to take on this on Poodle's top 10. On Poodle's breakdown. You're thinking it's going to be flip-flop. You think Stockton probably goes to Vegas, but let's take a look at the wide receiver core so far. Jacoby Myers, 30 years old. No.
Is that it?
Darnell Mooney, 29 years old. This is for the Raiders. I'm going to put it on the screen here in just 1 second, guys. This team is definitely going wide receiver, I believe. I just don't see any of these guys. And these are older receivers, too. Outside of Chris Monty is probably the one. And, man, he just lacks size, athleticism. Definitely a slot, probably, receiver there. Clarence Bullard, another young talent, still, nobody's polished yet. If you could get a stud at 10, something to change, man, it's going to help Josh Long at the halfback position. It's going to help Dalton Irons, who's been plugging away there.
Yep.
He's just been plugging away in Las Vegas, man. He's been their starting quarterback, and then Brock Bowers. I mean, you could add some talent there, and this team could get, this is a 6-win team last year, had their best season. You could see them pushing to that 500 mark, making a move. That's what we do in franchise.
Yeah, okay. So before we go, because our draft's going to start in like 2 minutes now, I have a quick question for you. Preseason, I guess pre-draft, who do you have winning the Super Bowl, and then who's losing the Super Bowl? I guess each conference. So who's playing and then who's winning?
Okay. So you want me to say who's making it to the conference? I think conference championship.
No, you don't even.
No,
have to do that.
I'm doing it. AFC Conference Championship. I'm doing it. I've got the New York Jets going against the Los Angeles Chargers. And as good as the Jets have been, as tough as they've been, they're gonna fight in that first half. They're gonna get blown out, but they're gonna make some good strides. Chargers are gonna go back to the Super Bowl. Chargers looking for that back-to-back. In the NFC, it's gonna be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Carolina Panthers. And I think We're looking at building the franchise. Carolina Panthers going to the Super Bowl versus Los Angeles Chargers. This time, I'm performing. All Carolina Panthers gear is on. We're in the Super Bowl. We're all in behind this because we're trying to stop that evil empire in Los Angeles, those Chargers, and I think everybody rallies behind Carolina, and we start saying, who the heck was John Peterson? We got Drew Favorite at quarterback in Carolina. And I'm going Carolina Panthers to win it. Building the franchise, Carolina Panthers. Yeah, hit the horn. Keep pounding. We have a lot of animations coming up. And your horn sounds a little hoarse. It's got a sore throat or something. Building the franchise, Carolina Panthers. Don't forget, check us out on Twitter, on X, at the Bomber League. You can find out when we're going live there as well. But we're at that point of the show. We're going to get the draft started. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Porter, good luck in your draft. I know you don't know who you're taking, but you're early on the clock, so you better figure it out.
We're getting going.
All right, guys. For myself and Quibble, last words. Hit them with it.
I got the Panthers winning it all, too.
One word to describe the New York Jets quarterback.
Improving.
Michael McDonald. Improving. You like to hear it. 23-year-old. Got to get back. And the Jets got to get back on top. The Dolphins got to get back. We need the rivalries going. We'll see you next time here, Building the Franchise. MBL 360 podcast with myself and Quibble. Don't forget, Building the Franchise, Carolina Panthers coming soon. 360 podcast, and we're out. We're going to hit the music. We'll see you guys on the draft side of things.
Yes,
Baltimore bosses too.
I hear you.
You in?
Gangsta, Brazil.
Never.
DJ
You know the
Trauma.
life is like my wife. Leave you where they do that at? GW cross bridging, Fort Lee living, Ashwater, River Road, GT ignition, MTV crib, Philippe in the kitchen. If I can't get it, my beneath form prison. Yeah, yo, dealer, the streets fiending. Connects be 80 old niggas don't speak English. Get my payroll bigger, I keep scheming. Saying you a radio killer, keep dreaming. $5 speech and talk cheap. On the offbeat, bars up like Wall Street. Nick game floor seats, Nate Ross scores 3. GTS Porsche Jeep, big grill like horse teeth. Always been swag, pimp fly. Level Burberry bucket with the plaid inside. Looking like Ja Rule when he crashed this ride. Was screaming out my boo, she turned back and replied like, I won't.
Affiliates, nigga, pay attention.
I won't. I'm here for you. You screaming she a hottie. To me, she probably lukewarm. Need that Bugatti page 12 out the DuPont. Clean you up like a newborn. If I don't do Moscato, shot a Baji from the juice bar. I got Vito friends, C notes is all I see like a CeeLo win. When I ride through Harlem, I don't need no Benz. Same Jeep gutter man drove Nino in. Far from a new jack, finish is a new pack like Ice-T crib, one button to push a roof back. Smooth cat, been hustling, that's a true fact. Used to go to school with a pocket full and loose cracks. Yes, the game shaky, got some loose screws, hard to tighten when niggas providing them like who's who. Did the skate key, I had a few new news, rather get hit with a 45 than a deuce. I won't. I'm here for you, shorty. I won't.
Killer, V12. You ain't killer.
I'm here for you,
Y'all
shorty.
singing like Eric Clapton, me, I'm forever clapping, never slacking, velvet napping, Jeff, hear me, leather action, fuck whatever happened, Fofo, Beretta packing, whether any weather, wherever, from a clever faction, no fiction, not nods, it's so written, my old pigeon, rolly box, the gold ribbon, where I'm from, check the sky, no ribbon, dope fiends, crack houses, coke kitchens, go getters, we go getting, we robbing with no givens, ordered from low living, no wisdom, so sickening, life, death, no difference, no severance pay on the road hitching, tripping, fuck a trick, suck a dick. Find another click to go burn rubbers with. I get bread bricks, white, green, red chips. But when she left, said this. What?